Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Had. If you saw my top 5 best movies, well, here's my top 5 worst movies. There wasn't too many bad movies. I didn't see that many movies this year, and I'm going to try to keep some horror movies out of this list because I'm already going to be making a video about the worst horror movies this year and the best horror movies. But anyways, let's just go over the 5 worst movies of 2018. Number 5, it's going to be a horror movie. I'm going to try to, like I said, I'm not going to have too many horror movies in here. I'll save that for a different review. The Nun. This is a movie that, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this movie has potential. It has a very good jump scare in it. That when I saw this movie, when this trailer first came out, no shit, I'm not shitting you. I was in the trailer. I don't know how to talk sometimes. Sorry. I was in the movie theater. I wasn't in the trailer. I wish I was in the trailer. Wouldn't that be awesome? I was in the theater with my dad, and there was this young couple my age, just a few seats down, and the guy who's my age with his beautiful girlfriend had a bucket of popcorn in his lap, and when that trailer came on and that big jump scare came, he literally threw his popcorn in the fucking air. And then me and my dad just laughed at him, and then when the movie started, like, not even halfway through, those people were gone. But anyways, fuck it. The Nun! Let's talk about The Nun. So anyways, this movie, it looked scary when I went into it. That one scare that I was talking about was, like, the scariest part of the movie, and I already saw it coming. All the scares in this movie were lame. You saw them coming. This movie's only goal, the only job for this movie was to be made good, but also scare you, because that's the whole point, right? Just like a comedy is supposed to make you laugh, this movie's supposed to scare me, and it didn't do it. And this movie, like, very poorly tries to somehow tie itself to the Conjuring universe by saying that this comic relief in the movie, who was the only comic relief in the movie, the other two characters were just bland, like, I'm a nun, I'm a priest, yeah. Who gives a shit? But then Frenchie, it's like, oh, this guy was in the Conjuring 1 movie as a flashback. Sweet. That was the only connective thread tissue, like, connected to that movie. And it was like, oh, that's how it's connected. Who cares? But the story was just stupid. The story was like, alright, the nun's a ghost that's underneath this, what do they call it, an abbey? And it was released by World War II. Bombs. Poof. Oh, here's the nun. I believe that's the explanation we got. If I'm wrong, correct me. I'm always wrong, so at least I'm willing to admit it. The only thing good about this movie was I liked the score. The score was always, like, ominous and creepy. But like I said, the scares were just bad. Alright? They were bad. They were overused. We've seen them all before. Crosses turning upside down. But yeah, if you want to see more of my thoughts, just watch my review. Number 4 is going to go to Assassination Nation. This is a weird fucking movie. A movie with the simple plot of what would happen if everybody's web history was just released. Everybody's text messages, everybody's emails, everybody's affairs out in the open. They're, straight people looking up gay porn. It's like, oh shit, that wasn't me. But this movie didn't even go that route. Like, this movie should have been a comedy and didn't do all the things that I was just talking about. That would be hilarious. But they didn't do that. They went for this purge route, and then they were like building up this great big climax where there's gonna be like this 300 battle between these girls and all the people who fucking hate them because they think they're responsible. And then it just like cuts to black, and we're at like a police station. This movie just left you with huge blue balls at the end, alright? It's just like, really? You built up to that, and then we saw nothing. This movie has barely any carnage, no deaths in it. It's just like lots of talking. We got these 5 girls, and the movie only focuses on one. We don't know shit about these other 4. What's their story? What got hacked from them? We know one of them's a transsexual. But yeah, this movie's characters, they just sucked. They didn't try to build any of them. I didn't give a shit about them. If they all murdered the one girl who got blamed, I wouldn't give a fuck. And then the revelation at the end about who hacked everybody and released their information in this small town in Massachusetts was the main girl's brother. And why did he do it? For lols. That's what he said. LOLs. Ha ha ha. Wasn't I funny? I released everybody's information. So yeah, you also cost the lives of a lot of people, you fuck. This movie just sucked. This movie tried to be like artistic with its editing. There's like all these like moments where there's like 5 different things going on in the same frame. Just all these different like windows. It's like, alright, this person's doing this person. But I was like, I can't focus on this many different things. The movie just sucked. How about I just say that? Moving on. Number 3 is going to go to a movie where I had bad theater experience that probably brought this down for me. But it's still a boring movie, and that's Operation Finale. Now, this is a true story movie. It's based on a true story, and I've read the book, and I said in my review that this movie should have just been a book, because it's more of an interesting read than a watch. There's only one moment of, like, tension, and then the rest is just talk, plan, and it's just not interesting. There's no interesting characters because you can't make interesting characters because they're trying to just tell the real story about generic shitheads that I shouldn't call them shitheads because they did something good. Whatever. I just like to call everybody shitheads. If I don't like you, you're a shithead. Always got these generic people, and they purposely try to insert this like little love interest, where it's like this guy's like he's got this bad chemistry relationship with this girl. They used to be together, and they only explore it. It's just like, oh, we used to be together, and it's awkward being on the same team as her, and who cares? And that's not even going with the real story. There's like, after reading the book about what actually happened, this movie just adds and takes away things that actually happened. The Eichmann house had only one brother in this movie, but in real life there was like 4 or 5 brothers. Where are they? Why aren't you showing them? This movie should have just stayed a book or make it a documentary series or something. This movie was not a good movie. So therefore it's my number 3. Now let's move on to number 2. My number 2 is going to go to the Happy Time Murders. This is another weird fucking movie that came out this year. It's a comedy, and it fails on the comedy front. Just like I said earlier with The Nun, that failed its job of just being scary. This movie fails on being funny. The first minute you're laughing because there's puppets, but then after a minute you're like, alright, I'm used to it now. It's not funny no more. Oh wait, I gotta think this is funny for 90 more minutes? It's not funny. This is just another movie that tries to have this big political, like, you know, the social, like, the story to it. Like, oh, you know, there's social injustice. That's what I'm looking for. This movie is basically about social injustice. You know, it's like, just take out the word puppet in this movie and insert the word black or something, or black people, because it's just like, you know, it's got those cliches of like, you know, the puppets can't get cabs, you know, because I'm not going to explore it, and I'm not going to talk about that, but you know what I'm talking about. This movie was basically about race, but they inserted puppets. And I'm not saying that they're not discriminated against in real life, but I don't want to be lectured in this movie, alright? I'm going to the movies. I don't want to be reminded that there's terrible things going on in the world. Melissa McCarthy in this movie was not funny. She's just Melissa McCarthy. She's like the Kevin Hart of females. She plays herself all the time, and it's not funny. All the good parts in this movie, if you can call them good, were in the trailer. And that's another case of bad trailer syndrome. This movie just had basically fart humor and stomp people's nuts humor, and it's just not funny. It's childish as fuck. This movie tried to add like this twist towards the end where like this woman who's not a puppet, she fakes her death right in front of the main puppet. But how does she pull that off? He literally saw her blow up in a car and then tried to just write it off later like, oh, she did some elaborate David Copperfield shit. How? But whatever, this movie just sucked, alright? It sucked. Beginning to end, it was just puppets stomping on nuts, snorting coke, saying stupid over-the-top humor. It made no sense. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't funny to me. It failed. Alright, that's why it's my number 2. But before we get to my number 1, let's go over my top 3 honorable mentions for the worst movies of this year. Starting with the first one, Robin Hood. This movie just failed to be interesting. Like, it was a period piece. The beginning was interesting, but then the rest of the movie just sucked. We had Robin Hood, and every character in this movie did not look like they were in the 17, 15, 1400s, whatever the fuck time period they're supposed to be in. They got pretty teeth, and even this peasant woman, she looks beautiful as fuck. It's not believable, and Robin Hood's vest looks like it was bought at Walmart. The second honorable mention is going to be Mandy, but if I was being brutally honest, I would put this in my top 5, but I'm not going to, because I'm not even sure if this movie actually came out this year. But this is a movie that everybody loves, because it's like a slow burn, it's artistic in its style, it's different, it's a Nicolas Cage crazy film, it's got revenge and chainsaw battles. Yeah, that shit's interesting, but everything leading up to that is a complete boring fucking mess of weird red lighting, terrible pacing, no real good story whatsoever, no explanation about what the hell's going on. And is this movie taking place on a different planet? I know people really love this movie, but I'm not going to shy away from saying fuck it. Fuck this movie. And my third honorable mention will be White Boy Rick. I enjoyed Matthew McConaughey in this movie. As always, you can't go wrong with him. Ever since Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, he's been amazing. But the story in this movie, you kind of just knew everything that was going to happen based off the trailer. And it wasn't really that interesting of a story. This is just another one of those movies that's based on a true story. And if you already know the story, why are you watching the movie? I enjoy the chemistry between White Boy Rick, is that what his name was, and his dad, Matthew McConaughey. But other than that, the story didn't really grab me. I wasn't really interested. I didn't enjoy this movie. I'm not saying it was made poorly. I'm just saying it's not really a fun movie that I enjoyed at all. But my number 1 worst movie of this year is going to a horror movie again. Sorry, but if I'm being honest, out of all the horror movies and regular movies, this one tops them all. Alright? Slender Man. This movie was dog shit. This movie was built off the idea of video games and real life stories that apparently were taken too far in real life. I heard that people died because of this Slender Man tale. I don't understand how that happened, but they need to grow the fuck up. It's just a story. But as far as I know, this story is actually just a bunch of video games. And I've played one of them, and they're really scary games. But this movie was not scary at all. And this movie suffers again from bad trailer syndrome, where they show you all kinds of clips that you're never going to see in this film. Clips that are very interesting and imply that this movie could have been rated R, but it's PG-13. They cut all the blood out, all the deaths, everything's off screen. You got a woman who dies literally because of a cut. Like, she's on screen and then it cuts to another scene and they're talking about how she's dead. Oh, that's how she died. Cut. And these characters are the worst characters in any movie I've ever fucking seen. They got no chemistry. They don't like each other, but they're supposed to like each other. They call each other friends, but they don't talk and communicate to each other very well. Anytime one's in trouble, they never ask the other one for help. They're just complete dumbasses. You tell one not to look behind you, and that's what they do, because they're children. I went pretty lengthy in my review for this. I was pissed off. This movie bored the shit out of me. It was poorly made, poorly lit, bad characters, bad everything, bad Slender Man. Slender Man's role, he could have been anybody else. He could have been like The Ring or something. What was his story? We don't know anything about the Slender Man. Why he came, what he's doing, what the fuck's happening. We don't know shit. The movie just sucked. And that's why it's my number one. Let me know what your top 5 worst movies are this year in the comments below. And as always, you can support this video by clicking on this like button over here. If you agree with me at all, let me know. And as always, you can support this channel too by clicking on my cartoon face in 5 seconds to see more awesome, fantastic content. And until next time, I hope you do.